How are you guys? It's Mudsy here from Muay Thai Interviews again. And my next guest, if you didn't know who he was before his last fight back in October last year, then no doubt you know who he is now. And he's also won a ton of new fans in the process. He trains out of Razor Muay Thai. I'm here with one of Australia's best super middleweight Muay Thai fighters. You'll know who I'm talking about. I'm joined by Charlie Bubb. How are you, mate?
Good mate, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Mate, thanks for having a chat. I remember last time I tried to get hold of you, and I don't know what happened with my Facebook account, but I saw the message you were keen for a chat, and I knew you sent it the day before, but I didn't end up getting it until the day after, so I was kicking myself. But I'm glad I got to finally have a chat with you now, mate.
Yeah, it might be a bit better now. People might actually know my name.
Well, I knew who you were, mate, so that's all that matters. um, Mate, I remember a few years back when I first took notice of you. You actually fought one of my good mates, Scotty Wilson from PTJ for a belt. I think you dropped him with a body rip and you won that. That's when I was like, shit, this guy just beat Scotty, because I knew Scotty was going quite well at the time and he was coming up through the ranks, and you just pretty much demolished him. And ever since then, I've been a fan of yours. That was on was that on Andy's? What promotion was that one on? Was that Andy's?
Yeah, on Andy's Sydney to Siam to Sydney.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, back in when was that? 2016, I think.
Yeah, was that at Marsden High School?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was when you were fighting 72 and a half kilos back then?
Yeah. That was for the 72 and a half WMC state title. That one.
That's right. That's right. Um, yeah. Now I'm keen to talk about one of your fights that I watched you fight was in Melbourne against Alex Iljovsky a year or two ago. I actually personally thought you won that fight, even though you didn't get the decision. And looking back on that, I could tell from your face that you probably thought you won that too, mate. How do you bounce back from something like that, and how do you stay so positive?
Um, yeah, so with that fight, I think me and Alex both took it on about 3 weeks' notice. So, and it was on power play main event. It was just an awesome experience to be there in the first place. Didn't put too much pressure on us, on myself. And yeah, I wasn't too happy with the decision either. I thought I won pretty comfortably, but I knew straight after that I was fighting my first fight with Jake Lund. I think 6 or 5 weeks after that. So I didn't really have time to sulk on my losses. So I had to get straight back into training. But I was happy with my performance in that fight anyway. And I knew Alex is one of the best in Australia. He's only lost once or twice now, and just went to a draw with Lewis Regis. So yeah, I was happy with my performance with him. And yeah, I took the positives away from that and was just taken into my next fight against Jake.
Yeah, because I saw that fight with him and Lewis too. I thought that was quite a very close fight. I think maybe Lewis probably just edged him, but I mean a draw wasn't a bad decision.
Yeah, my way of looking at it was you have to take the title off him because Lewis was the champion.
Yeah,
If it was a vacant title, it could have went either way, but I said just because Lewis was the champion, and yeah,
you sort of
it's
got to
just
win.
not for that one.
Yeah, you sort of got to win like in dominating fashion, don't you?
Yeah, you got to show that you're taking it from him, kind of thing.
And have you ever been in talks with a rematch with Alex?
Um, Not really. That was my last fight at 72 and a half, and then I fought Jake 6 weeks later on at 76. Then I fought at 74 for a while, and yeah, now I'm just back at 76, and Alex is at 70. So
Oh, that's right.
yeah, I just got too fat.
Yeah. And you are quite tall too, mate.
Yeah, it's hard to get down to that 72 and a half weight.
Yeah. Um, Now I wanted to bring up something. For me personally, watching your fights, I'd say you're predominantly an orthodox fighter, and I say that because you tend to switch up your stance quite a lot during your fights, but it works well and it works well with your style. Is that something that comes naturally, or have you developed that into your game over time?
Um, when I was starting my amateur fights, I had quite a goofy style, so I'd always just like walk forward and not keep my stance and just switch into my southpaw, not meaning to do it. And then after watching a lot of fights and everything, I just started to develop it more and more. And then it's the art of eight limbs. So I thought you got eight weapons orthodox, so you may as well have 16 weapons if you can switch to southpaw too. So after that, I kind of just mix it in, and it keeps the opponent guessing. And yeah, it's just I've kind of worked into my game now, but yeah, when I first started, it was just me being goofy and not working on my footwork properly.
Yeah, well, it works because I originally thought, oh no, he's predominantly a southpaw fighter, but he sometimes fights orthodox. And then I actually had to go back and watch a few of your fights, and I was like, oh no, he's actually orthodox. It's just he can fight southpaw as well.
Yeah, I got into a habit of in a few fights to actually I just fought southpaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but it was just my frame of mind to just go in. I didn't even know I was doing it. I'd just fight southpaw, think halfway through the fight, oh, what am I doing, and switch back. But yeah, it just comes naturally now, and I work it into my game plan a little bit and just working and training. And yeah, it's just fun to have that style where you can just throw a little bit more and you're not just in the one frame of mind all the time.
Oh, it is, man, because I know a lot of people think there's nothing worse than like being an orthodox fighter and having to fight a southpaw. They just get that, oh god, here we go.
Yeah, that's what happens when you fight a southpaw. It sucks. So you just think, oh, fighting a southpaw sucks. May as well swap it up with both. So they can't really train for whatever you got and just keep them guessing. That's my method of looking at it.
Yeah, well, I think it seems to work well, mate. It seems to work good.
Yeah, it's been working for me.
And you've also represented Australia at the IFMA World Muay Thai Championships in 2012, 2014 and 2015, mate. Can you tell us a bit about that and what that experience, or what those experiences were like? And like, was there anything like different like in the three times that you went?
Yeah, well, the first time I went was in 2012 in Russia, and I was 14, I think, and first time overseas. As soon as you got there, it's just a big shock of what it actually was, how big the games actually were. And yeah, training with the team, you're meeting all the team, and you got like Richard Walsh is one of the coaches there, and you kind of like, Jesus, this is a lot bigger than what you think it is. And yeah, then you went to the opening ceremony, and you're standing there, and Art and Levin's just sitting over there casually, and Andre Klubin's there, and it's like, wow, what have I got myself into? But the first time I went, I actually I got my ass kicked by a Ukrainian bloke. He absolutely swamped me. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So then in 2014, we went to Malaysia with it, and I had a bit more confidence. I had I think I had 13 or 14 more fights. And I keep getting the unlucky draw of only getting one fight. So in my division, I fought a Belarusian from Belarus.
Yep.
And yeah, that fight's on YouTube, but I don't think I walked through him, but I won every round on that and won on points in that. And yeah, I was happy with that performance. That was a really really good Aussie team that year. We had Malad Farzad fought on it, Mini T fought on it, Ben Johnson was over there with Corey Nicholson and all that, and yeah, that was just a crazy team, that one. And yeah, then in 2015 was in Thailand, and yeah, same thing. It was a massive. That's just when they got all the juniors into it.
Yeah.
They first started with all the juniors and everything, so it was a massive team that year too. And yeah, that was a different kind of experience at the games, because halfway through all those bombs were going off and everything in Thailand, so everyone was shitting themselves pretty much. And yeah, I ended up there were 3 guys in my division for that one, and I got the unlucky draw to have a bye the first round. And yeah, the Russian walked pretty easily through the Kiwi kid, and then I fought the Russian in the final, and yeah, I beat him, won all 3 rounds against that. And yeah, it's an awesome experience to go to, because you got that many different countries and just different cultures, and like you're in a different country every time, so the cultures are amazing. Yeah, and just the level of superstars that are there. Like in 2015, Superbomb was fighting, and like you'd have to pay $70 to watch him here, and you're just sitting there watching some of the best in the world. And yeah, it's an awesome experience to go to.
Did you find that going to your first one in 2012 and then getting like not your ass handed to you, but seeing what it's all about and going, okay, this is what I need to improve on. Did you find that helped you? And especially having that, like with when you said like Mini T and Malad having all those awesome other fighters around you in 2014, it made you actually want to like do a lot better.
Yeah, because I felt that games where I absolutely just fell in love with the sport, just everything about it. So as soon as I got home, we straight back into training. I think I had like 13 fights in between the two games in 2012 and 2014. So yeah, and I was really confident going into the next one. You knew that your talents were on show, so you just wanted to put on the best experience, and you go to training, and yeah, just all the pad holders are there. Like I think Walshy was there, Peter Boyd was there, Selby was there, and yeah, just awesome fighters there, and just the atmosphere in the training room is amazing, and yeah, everyone just wanted to put on the best show they could to not just show their country, but show everyone else what they had. And yeah, just through the games, you do get the experience of, it's a different point scoring because it's only I think I fought three 2-minute rounds.
Yep.
So it was different point scoring in a way because you had to really go for it, and yeah, you had your body gear on and your head gear on, your elbow pads and everything. So yeah, it's different in that way, but yeah, nonetheless, awesome experience, and you really see the development in countries as you go through the games. And in 2015, the last time I was there, like America, I don't think America was in the 2012 games, and they had a whole team there, and India was in it, and yeah, just you see the sport grow in front of your eyes, going from year to year to year, and yeah, it's awesome.
What do you think about fighting all padded up? Do you like it, or do you find it's a nuisance?
It's a nuisance to me because I cut a bunch of people, so it's kind of a downfall for me. But yeah, I didn't mind it then because I was only, my first games I was 14, second one I was 16. So yeah, I just wanted to fight as much as I could. I didn't really care about the padding and everything, but it is different, especially in Thailand because it's a lot hotter and you're wearing, like, you got to wear a singlet, you got to wear your body pads, you got to wear your shin guards, your headgear. So it's so hot. But yeah, I think it affects not so much the juniors, it affects more the pros than anything.
Yeah. Like
pros that are the top level guys, they don't have to wear body shields, but like the over 18 male B, they're still in bodyguards and everything. So I think it affects them more than it affected me because I was just a junior, and in New South Wales we had to fight in headgear anyway. So yeah, it wasn't a real change for me. But yeah, if I had to fight in belly guards now, I don't think I'd do it.
I was going to say, because with that, would you not find that annoying? Like, especially when you're trying to clinch and you've got headgear and belly guards on, and cause, obviously when you clinch, you're quite close and trying to get in there, and you'd find that those belly guards, do they create like a barrier, I guess you could say?
Yeah, it is. That's the only down point. Like, they're trying to get the best designs they can for it, but yeah, there's not a lot you can really do with it. So you're in the clinch. It's a lot more striking than traditional. That's why the ties, I think, don't go as well.
Yeah.
Like the junior ties don't go as well because they can't clinch. And yeah, but with the adults, in 2015, Curtis Stady was there.
Yeah.
And he just absolutely ripped this guy with a body shot, and I was like, yeah, we're not going to see that in juniors. Like, it's just completely different way of thinking about it. Like, because you throw to the body. It's more like point karate in a way.
Yeah, point scoring.
Kind of thing, because you're touch. Like, you're not going to be able to drop him with a body shot through a pad, so it's more you just got to throw as many strikes as you can, kind of thing. But yeah, it's awesome for the juniors to do it, I think. With the belly pad and everything, because like it's all their protection they need. They don't need to be getting whacked in the body or whacked in the head too hard, so it's great for them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And like, because you still are quite young, how do you stay focused away from distractions and keep motivated in the gym?
I've got to ask this question a few times, and I haven't figured out the right answer yet. I don't really know. I've just what I've been doing since I was 12 years old when I first started. So yeah, I was just a fat kid at school that got in trouble all the time. So Muay Thai helped me find that discipline and structure in a way, and then yeah, just never faded away. I just kept training over the holidays, just keep running and everything, and yeah, it just kind of goes from fight to fight to fight, and yeah, you just kind of find yourself in the gym, and then if you have a couple months off or a couple of weeks off or anything, you just feel lazy and you feel like you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, like over Christmas after I fought Toby, I think I had 2 months off or 2.5 months off, and I went up to like 92 kilos or something. And yeah, I was playing touch footy. I just found myself out of breath, and I'm like, what is this? This is disgusting. So yeah, it's the motivation to have a healthy life in a way.
Yeah.
Just you enjoy it, and I don't know, it's just I can't really answer it, but it's just the love for the sport in a way.
Yeah, you know what I hate, man? When you be training, and say you be training for a month or 6 weeks, or say you're training for a fight camp, and you get up to peak fitness, you have your fight, you're feeling good, you're feeling strong, and then like you said, if you don't go to the gym or you don't do anything for a couple of weeks, it's like you're basically starting at scratch again. It's like your kicks aren't as snappy, they're not as fast, you feel sluggish, and it's like, fuck, man, like, why does it take... I wish it was the other way around. Like, why does it take so long to get into shape, but like 2 weeks you can lose? It should be the other way around.
Yeah, it should be the other way around with it. It's I don't know, it's the way the body works. It makes you want to keep going and working and everything, but yeah, it's like people asked before, oh, would you ever box? And I simply just say, I would if I was going to retire from Muay Thai, because I couldn't learn how to kick again. Yeah. Because you don't do it for a month or two, and you're like, how does my leg get that high? Or how does this, you just feel unflexible, your body just goes, and yeah, it's the best thing though, because you feel that way, and it makes you want to get in the gym, it makes you want to improve yourself and improve your skills and everything, and yeah, it's kind of a positive in a way, because it gets your ass off the couch and running at least, or just doing something to keep yourself fit.
Yeah, definitely. And don't quote me on this, but I actually heard that Muay Thai, like, to throw a kick as opposed to throwing a punch, you actually burn 10 times more calories throwing kicks than you do punches, which sort of makes sense.
Yeah, because you're using more of your body in a way.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it in that way before. I'm predominantly a puncher, so if I get fat, I might have to start kicking. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's like in Muay Thai, you can, like, we skip a lot, and skipping burns a shitload more calories and quicker than walking or running or anything. So yeah, it's just an easier way, and I think it's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, and I always find it funny because obviously, like, Muay Thai, usually people skip with the thick ropes, whereas boxing they do the real thin ropes. But boxing they like to do like skip real fast and do like doubles and triple jumps and do like little you've seen Floyd, crisscross, and it looks cool. And then people will be like, oh, do you do that in Muay Thai? I was like, no, I just skip real slow for about 10 minutes. And
yeah, I just kind of tap my feet over the rope. And maybe a minute of doubles at the end, see what happens. But yeah, it's just a completely different way of looking at it, I guess. Like, boxers are all about footwork and that finesse on the feet, and I think Muay Thai is just more of the endurance, cardio, build your calves up, because you're always on your toes, you're always kicking on your toes and doing everything on your toes. But yeah, if I could do that, I'd definitely be doing that backstage before a fight to show off a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I have the coordination to do it. I don't know how they do it.
And you said, maybe at the end you'll do a minute of doubles. That's better than what I do. I'd be lucky just to do the last 30 seconds just to get my knees up high when they tell you to get your knees up.
It's the worst thing with the thick ropes though, because you're going, you're like, oh yeah, I feel good. You start doing doubles or you start going fast and you hit your toes and you just want to go to bed, and you're like, nah, this hurt too much.
Yeah, it definitely sucks when you hit your toes and it's winter.
Oh yeah, just when you're warming up, it smacks you right on the tip, and you're like, oh. You start skipping and you're feeling good, and you hit it again. You're like, shit.
Yeah.
This is gonna hurt.
Well, I actually don't skip in bare feet anymore because I get shin splints from skipping, so I have to skip in runners.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I've never been able to do that. I feel it feels different just having something on my feet. So it'd take a while to get used to, wouldn't it? With your
I,
shoes on and everything.
I don't know because I've always been used to it because I got real flat feet, so I got to wear orthotics when I am only in my work boots and my runners because that's when I wear my shoes the most. But yeah, I need them because I get I got flat feet and so I get sore knees and definitely like the shin splints when you're pounding the pavement.
Yeah.
So I don't skip in bare feet and yeah, it really hurts when you hit your toes with those stick ropes. I don't like that.
Yeah. Makes you not want to finish the session. You're like, oh, but that's how much warming up felt. I don't want to do pads.
Yeah, or just go hop on the exercise bike, but the trainer's like, no, you're skipping.
You're skipping. Do it. You go to Thailand, you're skipping for 30 minutes. You have to do it.
Yeah. And mate, also speaking of young, your last fight was against another young Aussie Muay Thai fighter who has established himself probably as the king of the middleweight and super middleweight division in Australia, Toby Smith in Perth last year. I'm keen to talk about that fight and what that experience was like. I think a lot of people just expected you to basically just turn up to the fight and that would have been good enough. But instead, not only did you turn up, you continually walked forward, you gave it as good as you got it, you cut him a few times, you showed you weren't intimidated one bit, and you won a shitload of new fans and proved that you're no joke and definitely one of the top middleweights in Australia. How was it heading into the toughest fight of your career so far, and would you be able to give us an insight into the lead up and what your mindset was like during that fight?
Yeah, to start the lead off, I remember this day specifically in my mind because I got a half day from work, so yeah, and I wasn't really training because I was still setting up the gym at my place and everything, and then I was halfway through a hot chip and bread sandwich, and I got a message on my phone, on Facebook, it popped up, Blair Smith wants to connect with you. And I was like, oh, yeah, righto. So I accepted the request, and it's, oh, hey, mate, you want to fight Toby? And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I thought he retired, and I was like, oh. I rang up my trainers at the time, and I was like, you in for it? You want to train me for this? And they're like, one of my trainers, Andrew Abbott, he's a real positive bloke, and he's like, oh, yeah, that'll be mad, yeah, let's do that. So as soon as he said that, I wrote to Blair straight away, and yeah, mate, 100%, let's take it. And then yeah, that was 3 months out from the fight, I think. So yeah, we established my game plan, and yeah, basically I was going to stick to my strength. I knew he's a beast in the clinch.
Yeah,
like that's been shown against Parr, and when he fought Thong Chai over in Thailand, he stuck with him in the clinch, and yeah, so we knew that was going to be tough, but I was also backing myself. I wasn't counting myself out at all. I knew I could go over and give him 100%. So yeah, leading up to it, normally train 6 weeks out, start training hard, but we were pumping out 3 months, and yeah, at that time it was my first training camp under my own gym, my first full training camp. So yeah, it was a bit off in a way because we were just in my shed, and like I was still getting bags and all that into it, but yeah, I gave 100% in every session of that, and yeah, by the end of it, I think I was doing like 10 4-minute rounds or something, and sparring in between, and yeah, everything. And props to the 3 boys that helped me train for that, Tristan, Sandon, and Andrew. Like they gave me 100% of their time and everything. And then yeah, we set off over to Perth, and I've never been to Perth before, so it was great to just go over there and see everything. We made the mistake of going to the Fremantle markets on Wayne Day and walking into the food section. Oh, that was torture enough, that was. And then yeah, we walked into the Synergy where the pit is, and walked in, and yeah, it was just like as soon as you walk in, Toby's got all these titles there, and it's like, oh shit, like it's getting a bit real now.
Yeah.
And yeah, he came in, weighed in, and weighed in, did the photo, shake the hands. I walked over to my mate, and I was like, bro, I just got a photo of Toby Smith. That was mad. I was doing that because I've been watching Toby for years. Like before he won, like since he won the 8-man in Queensland, basically when he really put his name on the spot, and then saw him live in Sydney when he fought Super Bond.
Yeah.
And he got cut to shit in that fight too. So yeah, it was an awesome experience to be there. And yeah, Blair treated us amazing over there. Nothing, I can't say anything bad about the show or anything. Like, it was amazing to be over there. And yeah, backstage it was awesome. All they had, it's a big room, just like a curtain through the middle.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're there warming up, and there's a big mirror that goes across both sides, so you can see what they're doing. And the 4-man was on before we fought. So they're out there, we got our gloves on and everything, and we're whacking pads. Like, just in the curtain, you can hear Toby whacking, I'm whacking. The atmosphere just felt that electric. Like, you just felt like something special was about to happen. And the whole lead up to that fight, I knew I was going to be the underdog, because it's Toby Smith, of course, you're going to be the underdog. But yeah, the whole lead up to that fight, I read Mickey Ward's book. He's from the movie The Fighter.
Yeah.
And there's a chapter in it, the first chapter I think it is, he's talking about how he fought Arturo Gotti in 3 of the best boxing fights to ever happen, and how his mentality for that was, and that's just what I wanted to do. Like, I wasn't going to take a backward step, I wasn't going to be intimidated at all. And then, yeah, as soon as that, like, you're standing face to face, and it's like, right, it's going to happen now. You forget who you're fighting, you forget the hype around it. You're in that zone. You know you're the best you can be at that point in time, and yeah, there's nothing else you can do. So yeah, it was a crazy experience, and I think I cut him in round two or round 3.
I think it was 2, yeah.
Yeah, round 2, and then yeah, that's when the weapon really came out. Like, that's when it was just, holy shit, he's not going to stop here. And it was like, you see it on TV and you're like, oh yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but to have it in real life, someone just hunting you down like that, it's surreal to be a part of.
Did you find when you cut him, did you surprise yourself, or did that amp you up? You're like, holy shit, man, like, I cut him, I can do this.
Yeah, as soon as I cut him, I was like, yeah, it's a big cut, let's go for that. And then it's like, I've won most of my pro fights. My wins have been from cut stoppages, so I knew that was going to be my positive. So yeah, as soon as I cut him, I was like, yeah, right, this is going to be a war now. I know he's not going to stop. And yeah, the crowd just went ballistic, and yeah, it was just, it's hard to explain. Like, in the moment, you're not really thinking about it, and then after it, you're like, yeah, that was crazy. That's, like, we're watching the video back, and he'd take me down, and like, he was standing over me, and there's blood just dripping everywhere, and I was like, looking at it now, you're like, oh, yeah, that's kind of gross, but in the moment, you're like, yeah, this is hectic. This is something people are going to remember right here.
Oh, mate, I bought the stream, and I was just, like, in my bedroom, just, like, jumping up and down, going, holy fuck, like, what the fuck?
It was crazy. You should have heard, like, the crowd there was absolutely amazing. Like, just the roar. It's a big room, and, like, you just couldn't hear anything. Couldn't hear your corner. Couldn't hear anything. And then when I came back to my corner, I think it was round 3, end of round 4. And I had Mark Selden in my corner. So I knew him from the IFMA games, and yeah, he put his finger straight to my eye, and he's like, you're cut now too. And I was like, oh, righto, let's throw some more elbows in. And just went out, and yeah, it was just crazy.
You know, I just wanted to say something, because when you said you were reading the Mickey Ward book, and you had quotes and, you know, stuff you were obviously memorising and visualising before the fight, I did an interview with Carnage.
Yep.
And I asked him about the mental side of Muay Thai, because it's, you know, it's just as much a mental thing as it is a physical thing. And he actually told me some good advice that he tells some fighters, basically, when you get in the ring, you make a decision, like, who's it going to be? Is it going to be them, or is it going to be you that gets your hand raised? And basically just telling fighters to visualize, like, it's me, it's going to be me that wins. Because he said, if you're standing across from your opponent and you go, oh, it's going to be them, well, obviously you probably shouldn't be fighting in the first place.
Yeah, you're losing before you've even got in there.
Yeah, I've heard like people just talk like about like it's a mind thing, you know, like they'll be training out the back and sometimes like they'll be, you know, you hear it in Thailand, like guys had 200 fights but he's still shitting himself before his fight, and people are like, man, you've had like 200 fights, how can you be nervous? But you know, it just shows that everyone is human.
Yeah, everyone's human, and your nerves can take you any day, any second. You can hit that wall and just, you can't control your body. Once your mind decides on something,
Yeah,
you can't decide. One of the best quotes I've actually heard, I think it was when Ronda Rousey was dominating in the UFC.
yeah,
There was something that came up, and she's like, I can't remember who said it to her. She's like, what gives them the right to beat you?
yeah,
So then you got to think that the whole time you're training. It's like, why do they deserve it more than me? You got to put in your work, so you deserve it more than them, and you want to get your hand raised, and yeah, the mental side of it is just way more than what people believe than what it is. Like,
yeah,
you can be as strong as you want, like work as hard as you want, but if you hit that mental block in round 1, round 3, round 5, 2 weeks before, whatever, like as soon as your mind goes, everything's just gone. And yeah, it's once it goes, it's hard to get it back in that frame of mind that there's someone that wants to hurt you, there's someone that wants to stop you.
yeah.
Once your mind goes, hard to get back in that frame of mind that no, they don't have the right to do that. Like,
No, that's right.
that's
100%
it's just how you.
right, brother. And what, if anything, did you do differently to prepare for Toby as opposed to all your other fights?
Differently, like I said, it was my first one training out of full fight camp, training out of Razor Muay Thai in the back shed. So, yeah, that was different in a way because I wasn't in a big gym like I was before. I had my 3 sparring partners, or my three trainers, and yeah, it was a weird build up for that. All we did was pads and sparring, just full and clinching, just to prepare, because you knew like the pressure was going to be relentless. We're doing like 10 rounds, 15 rounds a night, and like wrestling in between rounds and clinching in between rounds. And yeah, that's the only fight where I didn't do my strength conditioning for that fight. All I did was basically just hit pads, clinch, spar, run. That's, yeah, in a way, I'm normally pretty good with mixing up stuff, but yeah, in that fight, it might have been the factor that I knew this is what he was going to do because I've watched that many of his fights, or the factor that it was my first time training out of a different, like my gym.
Yep.
So I didn't have the resources available or anything, but yeah, it's just, we stuck to that, and I was 100% confident going in that it was going to work, and we had our little strategies, not so much a game plan, just our little strategies to follow.
Yep.
And yeah, I knew coming into the fight, he was vulnerable to elbows because like his last loss was against Kem.
Yeah,
with,
that's right. With
that
cuts,
elbow
yeah.
stoppage. So yeah, I love my elbow, so that's what I worked on, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, so I take it nothing surprised you about like Toby or anything? You were fully ready for everything that he had?
I wouldn't say fully ready, because if I was fully ready, he wouldn't have dominated me in the clinch like he did. But
Yeah.
I watched him for so long, so I knew how he fought and everything. I knew he was going to be powerful. And after the first round, yeah, nothing really surprised me after the first round, because he just did everything. It's like, yeah, that's what you expect. And then round 3 was where he really took off and started going forward. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what you thought he was going to do. And I tried my best to stop it, but it wasn't enough. And yeah.
Yeah. And given Toby's last fight where he had a number of last-minute opponent changes on Rebellion, I heard that you jumped at the chance to fight him again. That to me says that you're confident in your ability and that you are very much keen for a rematch down the future.
Yeah, Si messaged me one night and was just like, "Are you interested in a rematch for Toby?" And I said, just hit him back. "Yeah, mate, definitely keen. I'll get back to you tonight. I just got to speak to my trainer." So I think it was 10 days out, and yeah, I busted myself at training that night, and yeah, we weighed it up. I jumped on the scales. The fight was at 76, and I was at 90 at the time. So yeah, I just sent him a message, and I was like, "Hey, mate, I'm just that bit out of shape. Like, I'd love to have a rematch, but I won't be able to make the weight, and it's just I'm not fit enough to give Toby the fight that he deserves, and the show that you deserve on Rebellion, one of the biggest shows in Australia." But yeah, I'm happy to take the rematch against him again. I thought we gave an amazing fight that people would like to see again. But yeah, I just think he's got bigger fish to fry than me at the moment, being the best talent that we have to offer in Australia.
Yeah.
So if it comes by rematch, or it comes by pull out, or if it comes by like a scheduled fight, it'd be amazing to step in the ring with him again. And yeah, it was just I saw the opportunity, and if I was a couple kilos lighter, I would have took it, but it just wasn't meant to be at that time.
Well, mate, you're certainly making your mark and stamping your authority on the super middleweight division, and you're definitely, I'd say, in my top three for Australia anyway.
Yeah, I think the way it goes in the moment in the rankings that I'd put it is Toby, Jake, me, then David Pinnipede. So yeah, it's just that top four at the moment. We're all kind of bouncing around, fighting each other. Like, Jake's beat me, Jake's beat David, Toby's beat me. So yeah, I just got to beat Jake now, and yeah, that's how the rankings in the super middleweight are playing out at the moment.
Have you fought Pinnipede before? You haven't, have you?
No, I haven't got a chance to fight him yet.
And
yes, he fights tomorrow night against Brad Trainer.
That's
He's
right.
fighting at 79 in that fight.
That's on Destiny, isn't it?
Yeah, for the WBC strap.
That's right. And also, I reckon Malad's probably got to be up there as well, although I don't think he's been as active Muay Thai wise as the other boys, because he's been doing boxing, K1 and Muay Thai. But if he gets back into Muay Thai, I reckon he'd probably be up there somewhere as well. Yeah,
I'd be stoked to have a fight against Malad too if he came back. He's fighting
Power Drill.
Yeah. At for the IBF world title, and that's at 79 too, I think so.
Yeah.
But if he ever comes back and fights at 76, or I'd even fight him at 79, I think between 76 and 79 in Muay Thai, I reckon that'd be a crazy fight to put on.
Sweet, I might have to message a few of the promoters after this. No, I'm only joking.
Cause I remember when he fought, I met him in Thailand, in Malaysia, and like you always, like once you meet people, you kind of like you add them on Facebook, you keep your eye out for him, and when he fought Sayok, it's like, oh shit, this guy's a talent right here.
Yeah, that's one thing I've actually enjoyed about doing these Muay Thai interviews. Like I tend to, not with everyone, but a lot of the people that I talk to, I seem to keep in contact with them. Like maybe, I mean, don't message them every day, but sometimes I'll message them like, oh, what do you think about fighting this person? Or what do you think about this fight? And what do you think about this and that? And it's cool just to get like their perspective on stuff, because sometimes I might be, like you see it from your point of view, and then you message them and be like, oh, what do you think about, you fighting this person? Or what do you think about these two people fighting? And it's good to sort of just bounce ideas and stuff off each other and sort of just stay in the loop, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I think that gets you excited about the sport, the possibility of these fights happening. And like you message your mate, you message like a promoter, oh, what do you think about this happening? And they're like, oh yeah, I'll ask him, and the next minute it's happening. It's like, like I wanted, I fought Seb Holmes a couple of years ago now. I think it was 3 years ago now, and I always wanted that rematch. And then I just slowly made my way up to 76, and he was there. And I told my trainer at the time, I was like, I'd love to fight him again. And then he's like, oh, I'll message Andy then, and he messaged Andy, and then a couple of months later we'll back at it together. And it's good that there's a good relationship between fighters and trainers.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed, and there's not a lot of. I like it because there's not so much of that other bullshit that you see in like UFC and boxing. You know, like with people just being assholes to each other and disrespecting each other.
After today, when McGregor went crazy and threw like chair through a bus. But yeah, it's good in that way because like no one in Australia wants to, or no one in Muay Thai wants to hide their record or protect their record. Like in your interview with Kevin Ross, I'm a massive Kevin Ross. I'm a fanboy.
Yeah, I interviewed him.
Yeah. I was listening to that, and when he just speaks about like we didn't give a shit about our record. We just fight. Like when he was coming up, we just fight for the
love of it.
For the love of it. As many fights as we can get. Fighting once a week, fighting on an hour's notice is like that's the love that people need to have to keep the sport growing. And yeah, someone like Kevin Ross is just one of the best ambassadors to have that point of view on.
Yeah, and because he put a post up a few months ago where it was like, you know, in Thailand, no one gives a shit about your record. It's just the experience. Like, no one goes, oh, what's your win-loss record? It's how many fights have you had? Oh, you've had 10. Oh, you've had 50. Oh, he's had over 100. Like, it's just more about the experience. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You get in there, give it a go, and you just see what happens.
Yeah, that's how some of the best fights happens. Like when Kevin Ross fought Saenchai or when Liam Harrison fought Saenchai. It's not, oh yeah, like the wins ratio, because the percentage is close because they're two great fighters and they've had smaller amount of fights, but like, yeah, it's just, oh yeah, just make the best fight possible. And yeah, you just that's how crazy fights happen when someone hasn't had a lot of fights, hasn't had as many fights, but just wants to be the best they can, and they end up fighting someone who's people think they're on a higher level, and that's when an amazing fight just happens.
Yeah, and obviously not obviously, but I mean, like a lot of the time it's like, man, I've got nothing to lose. I've had, you know, someone will be like, I've had 20 fights. I'm fighting a guy with 100 fights. If I lose, so what? People expect me to lose, but if I win, then it's like, fuck yeah, I am good enough, you know?
Yeah, and I reckon that's the mentality you kind of have to have in training anyway. You always got to live in the fear that your opponent's training harder than you, that your opponent's, like you're doing 10 push-ups, your opponent's doing 20 push-ups. And just always have that in the back of your mind that you don't have anything to lose. Like, as long as you put in 110%, like no one can talk shit about you anyway, because you're getting there, you're putting it all in. But like you can live with yourself putting in 110%, and you know that you've given it the best you can on that day.
Yeah, that reminds me of, like, remember when you ever hear like Mike Tyson, he'd be like, I'd be up running at 4 a.m. in the morning because my opponent would still be in bed sleeping, so I have to get the upper hand of my opponent, so I'd be running at 4 a.m. in the cold.
Yeah, and there's Will Smith does like a motivational thing, and it's just about outworking. He's like, you might be stronger than me, you might be fitter than me, but the thing is, I'm willing to die on a treadmill. If me and you get on a treadmill together, you're falling off first because I'm willing to die. And to have that mentality in the sport is something special. Like you're seeing a lot of people do have it now, but then you get the odd one and they're just there for the glory or there for the Facebook likes and everything. When you get two people that have that exact same mentality, like when Kevin Ross fought Tomahawk it's just crazy when you see two people that aren't going to take a backward step, and just you can tell that they're there because they love the sport, just because of the show they're giving, and yeah, it's amazing.
Oh mate, anyone, if that was anyone but Tomahawk, they would have been gone, like KO'd. How he was still standing from that shattered knee to the nose, I would never know. That was
it's just, and after those 5 rounds, like that was one of the best fights I've seen of Kevin Ross. He was slick as anything in that fight. And for Tomahawk, that just shows the talent and the heart that Australia actually has to go out there and like give the world the best we can. And then he did that. And then when Andy Howson came over here and fought Mini T, it just shows that we're capable. Like Australia is up there against the best in the world, and we're gonna give it to the best in the world too.
You know, Kevin Ross busted his rib 9 days out before that fight.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm a massive fanboy of Kevin Ross. I've listened to every podcast that he's had.
Yeah.
He tells that story about his rib. And he's got another story about, fracturing his skull, someone had a metal plate in their shin guard and it kicks him in the head. And yeah, he got back to America. I think the fight was in China or Japan or Mexico or somewhere. And the doctors are like, you shouldn't be walking right now. Like, this isn't possible what you're doing. And he's like, all I could do for 3 months or whatever was hit the bag. And it's like, shit, a lot of people would be sitting on the couch getting fat, but it just shows the love people have for the sport and what the sport actually changes in people.
Yeah, definitely led him on a better path anyway. But well, I was actually having quite fun with that conversation, but I better get back on the topic. I heard, are you trained by your father as well? Because you were talking about you got a gym out the back of your house.
It's a weird play out of how it is, but my dad actually has only been to 2 of my fights ever. He can't stand it. Dad can't watch it. Mum loves it. Dad's can't stand it. He's only been to the ones when I fought in my hometown because, yeah, he hates it when his baby boy's in there. But nah. So my dad's got a second house. It's a bit of a rundown house and had a shed out the back. And I just left my old gym before I fought Seb, and I was in that stage. I was thinking about quitting. I was thinking about I didn't have anywhere to train. I wasn't getting calls for fights or anything. So I was like, yeah, I might just ask Dad if I can train in his shed. So yeah, trained in his just asked him one day. Got some mats in, got some bags in. Ended up moving into the house that's on the same block as the shed, so same yard as the shed.
Yeah.
So I've me and my girlfriend moved in there, and then it's just taken off from there. So Dad actually, he doesn't train me, but it's his house and it's his shed, and I'm just paying him rent for it.
Oh, okay, sweet. And so where do you do your sparring, and who do you spar with then? If it was just you and your pad holder.
At the moment, before when I fought Toby, I was just sparring my pad holders at the time, just because they came from the same gym I did, and that's all we had because I didn't really, my name wasn't out there as much as it is now.
Yeah.
And so at the moment, there's a few local guys in town that I'm sparring with, but other than that, I've been going up to Stockade in Canberra to train with Josh Toner and the boys up there, and some amazing talents coming out of that gym. Like there's one, Michael Lawson. I never heard of him before that sparring day, and then then I went in there and we kicked the shit out of each other for a bit, and I was like, yeah, this kid's gonna be special. And I'm going up there on Sunday, so in a couple of days' time, and then I just fell in love with the sparring. I got there last time, so I'm definitely gonna see if I can keep going back there for my upcoming fights.
Yeah, sweet as. And that's what I'll ask you. When you were like just an amateur and stuff, because you lived in Orange, which for people that are listening to this, if they don't know where Orange is, it's a country town in New South Wales. Did you have to pay for your own way to fights, or because it was amateur and people didn't know much about you back then, or were they supplying the accommodation and your flights?
So when we were amateur, I had a lot of fights in Wyong and Gosford.
Yep.
On Tim Jury's show up there, and Canberra on Shane Tipper's show. So we formed a good relationship then with them, and they'd pay for accommodation and everything when we'd go up. When we went to Russia and Malaysia and Thailand, and went to the Australian Championships in Brisbane, Gold Coast, wherever they were held. We had to do a bit of fundraising and get our own money for that, as the whole team does. But like promoters they're always good with that. Like if you go, they'll always pay for your accommodation and give you a little bit for petrol and food. And that's good because you don't want to be losing money. You put so much in anyway, like money for training, money for food and everything. You don't want to be losing money on the weekend to go up there. Yeah. So it's good that promoters pay for your accommodation and your food and everything. And they treat us as an amateur. Tim Jury, Shane Tipper, Jay and I, Yeah, they really helped me as an amateur with my fights, and yeah, that's that's like, I've got to thank those guys a lot because a lot of my amateur fights were on their show, and that really piqued me up for got me ready for my pro.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Good on you. And what goals have you set yourself for in the sport?
At the moment, it's just pretty much fight the best people I can. I'm not worried about titles too much anymore. I'd love to get a shot at the WMC 76 strap.
Yeah.
I believe that Pinnipede still holds that. So to fight him, that's a top 5 super middleweight clash. Like, I think that's a fight people want to see.
Yeah.
And yeah, but other than that, that's the only title I want because like, you got to admit those WMC titles are good looking. So have that on the mantelpiece would be good. But other than that, I just want to fight the best. So I've already fought Toby, fighting Jake again. Want to fight Dave Pinnipede again. Dave Pinnipede, I just think that's a fight people would like to see. And then, yeah, like we said, if Malad ever came back to Muay Thai, came back to 76 in Muay Thai, just the best in Australia. And then once my name's out there, take on the best in the world. Just racking up names, racking up experiences. Don't really care. I care about the win and loss for a pride thing, but just fighting the best I can to get as good as I can and make as many memories along the way.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And speaking of rematches, you do have a rematch coming up in May next month with Jake Lund, who is also vying for that top spot as king of the super middleweight division. The last time you two met, he won via a decision. Given your impressive performances coming off your last fight, I'm guessing you were quietly confident going into the rematch with Jake?
Yeah, I'm confident going with Jake. It was a close fight last time. It was split points. And yeah, we've both improved since then. Coming off my last fight, I know I can take, because that was my first fight at 76 and I fought Jake the first time, and so I've had a couple more at 76 now, so I don't have that in the back of my mind that, are they going to hit harder?
Yeah.
Like, is this going to be? So I've got that peace of mind now that I can take the shots that they have to offer, and yeah, I'm confident going in. I'm confident in my training. I've got my Andrew Abbott who's training me, and I've got Denny Maskachev who's came in, and he's holding pads, and just we're starting to work together really well. And I think May 5th is going to show something special.
Mate, if the first fight's going to be anything to go by, it certainly is. And so what are some things that you took away from your first fight with Jake, and how do you see the rematch playing out?
With the first fight with Jake, I think I started off a little slow. I was a bit, like I said, first fight at 76, first fight on that bigger show, and like it's that big name, people are kind of like a lot more eyes on it, so I'll let that get to me a little bit. Just now that I have that peace of mind that I can get hit by the big guys, and I know I can take those, and that's just what I'm taking away. I'm trying not to get into much of a slugfest like it was last time. We saw a bit of blood, and we both started going for it, so it made for an exciting fight, but probably wasn't smart on both our counts to win on points, but that's just what I'm taking out. We've been working out little strategies. I don't like to call it a game plan because, like Mike Tyson said, you have a game plan until you get punched in the face.
In the face, yeah.
Yeah, we just got little strategies for what's going to be if this happens, this and this, or whatever. So it's like by the time it gets around to it, it's like you haven't fought again. It's just he could have a completely different fight style to how he was. Was that 18 months ago now? Yeah. I could have a completely different fight style. So either way, I think it's going to be exciting.
And given that you've fought both Toby and Jake once, how do you compare the two?
Both strong, both predominantly clinch fighters. I think Jake's a bit more technical in the sense of picking shots and everything, and Toby's got the power. Toby's got the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think Toby's just that little bit more dominant in the clinch. But like I said, Jake's in Thailand at the moment, so he can come back with an awesome clinch game and improve leaps and bounds from what he is. Or yeah, so it would be an exciting fight if it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're two really good fighters. It's obviously at the moment one and two in Australia. I hope that changed in a couple of weeks. But
I was gonna say, mate, you're sniffing around at the heels. If you win the rematch, you could be number 2, and then if you do win the rematch, like I'm sitting on the fence for this fight because I enjoy watching both of you guys. But I mean, if you do win the rematch, you're gonna have to have a third and final decider, aren't you? Sometime down the track.
Yeah. So that's 1 and 2, and then hopefully we can even get the third one in Sydney or somewhere, so I can get a bit more fan base going up. But
yeah, 'cause you like to travel, don't you?
Yeah, I fought once in my hometown as a pro, and yeah, just travelling around. But it's good. It gets your name out there a lot more, and
Yeah.
it's good that there's a live stream now, so people at home can watch it. And
Well, mate, that's how I do my homework.
Pardon?
That's how I do my homework on you guys, because I usually work, so I work in WA as a FIFO, and then I live in Thailand, so rarely am I in Perth or anything when a show's on. So that's how I do my homework. I buy all the streams and sit there and watch them and take my little notes. I really like this guy. Fucking might have to have a chat with him or.
Yeah, and it's one of the best things for the sport because before you had to wait a couple of days or a couple of weeks before it came out on YouTube or Facebook or something.
Definitely.
Now you can watch it live. Like every time there's a rebellion, it's on the TV. You just hook your laptop up to the TV and you're watching that there. It's one of the best things that's happened to the sport, and yeah, I think that's just going to build the sport now with the live streams and make everyone sees those fights and they're going to want to watch them, and yeah, it's just going to keep making promoters want to put shows on because they know they've got people watching them now. And
well, mate, the live streams definitely help. Like especially like with me interviewing fighters and that, it's like fuck, this guy's fighting, or this lady's fighting this weekend. I've interviewed them. Like I really hope that they genuinely do well. It's not just it's almost like watching one of your mates fight. You sit there getting nervous, having a beer. Yeah. Oh fuck! Like come on, I hope you win.
Yeah, that's the thing. You get more nervous watching them fight than you do fighting yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like you get a few mates from fighting and everything, like old opponents or this, and you're watching them and you're like, why am I getting nervous? Like
yeah.
I've only known him for 15 minutes that I've been standing with him, so it's like I shouldn't be getting nervous for him fighting, but that again is the beauty of the sport. But yeah, live stream, it's like it's amazing what it does, and yeah, you can just watch any show from the comfort of your own home, and yeah,
I 100% agree with you, mate, and I think a lot of the promoters are getting onto it, and it's definitely, I believe it's helped growing our sport that we all love.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that Sion Nadji's brought, adopted the idea of is the block out. So if he's got a show in Melbourne, he blocks the show out, the live stream from Melbourne, so that everyone else can see it, but you can't live stream it in Melbourne.
Yeah, you have to go to the show unless it's sold out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's getting people to go to the show, and then like if it's sold out, oh yeah, you can watch it. But it's such a good idea just because it's going to get people to the show, or else they can't watch it. And then
definitely.
Yeah, it's just going to keep growing and growing from there.
And mate, we did touch on it a little bit earlier on, but I'll just ask the question. Given you're still quite young and you're not even fully grown yet, and you're fighting at 76, apart from your little Christmas blowout, do you have to cut much weight to get to 76? Like, what would you normally walk around at?
Normally, when I'm not in a fight training camp, I'm just training for the hell of it and just staying fit. I'm about 87, 88.
Yeah.
And then, so training for a fight, like at the moment, I'm about, hope there's no doctors listening, like 86, 85 kind of thing. So I do cut that little bit of weight, but like naturally through training, by the last week, I'm at about 82 anyway. So it's only like a serious 6 kilo cut. But I don't like to do it the the sauna way and the sweating way. It doesn't work for me. I just feel like complete shit. And I had a mate that fought, and he just sweat everything out, and he looked like a dead fish come weighing time, and he just got, like, the next day, he just had nothing in the ring.
Yeah.
So I don't like to do it that way. I like to flush my system and, like, fast and just have that low intake while still training the last week, and not, I only cut weight through sweating if I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
I won't jump. I don't think I've had 13 or 14 pro fights now, and I've sat in a sauna for 2 of them, I think. So that's a big point with me, cutting weight. I like to get down as low as I can through training camp and just through naturally eating and just all that, and then I'll cut weight my way, and then just revert to the sauna or sweatsuit as an absolute, like, last 500 grams, 1 kilo, because you just feel depleted and you have nothing.
Yeah, because, like, you're only 20 or 21, so you're 20?
Yeah, I'm 20, yeah.
20. Man, you're just a puppy, so how long do you reckon, well, I guess you don't really know, but I reckon in time you're definitely going to be going up weight, because you're not even fully developed yet.
Yeah, I was a bit scared at Christmas. I didn't think I'd make 76 again, and because I was at 93 kilos, you really don't think you're going to get down, what is it, like 13 kilos or whatever it is. So
it's like 17 kilos. I think it is 16, 17 kilos.
So I was real worried at Christmas time. I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to fight at like 80 or something. And then so I don't think, because I'm quite skinny for just get me see, I'm quite tall and lean and everything. So if I want to go through that road of like Spong and just Tyrone Spong and just naturally go up through weights and size and everything, or I just, like, my body grows and I just go with the weight division. That's how it's been when I was an amateur. Like, I started at 70 and I was still quite chubby, so I went down to 65, and I've just naturally, my body's grown, so I've gone up with the weight divisions. So if that happens through, like, naturally, or if I feel like I want to go up weight division, like, through muscle and just size and everything, I would go that way. But I definitely don't think I'll be at 76 this time next year or in a couple of years' time. So it's just how my body's going to go, and we'll see what weight division I end up in.
At the end of the day, like, people, like, know themselves, like, they know that you know your own body better than anyone else. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, people they don't know their body, they've never done it before, they cut weight, and they'll end up, like, absolutely smashed by fight time. So you got to know your body, know how you'll cut down and go up, know if you can go that little bit lower, or know that if your body can go a weight division up and stay at that weight division, or and then you can tell what your body's going to do, but sometimes, like, you just grow. Like, you might eat a bit too much over Christmas and get a bit of fat, lose that fat, and go, oh, I'm still 2 or 3 kilos heavier. That's just your body naturally growing to that food and all that. So it's just, I think it's a bit of a guessing game sometimes, but knowing your body when you're training for a fight and knowing what weight you walk around at's a big part of it.
100%, brother, 100%. Yeah, mate, just before I won't take up too much more of your time, I've thoroughly enjoyed our chat. If people wish to contact you or follow your fights and training, have you got, like, a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or anything like that?
I've just got my Facebook's just Charlie Bubb. Feel free to add me on there. I'm too shy to make a fight page on Facebook because I don't know what'll happen if I don't get any likes. So it's just my personal page there, and just on Instagram, I think it's charlie.bub97, or just type in bub97 and I'll come up, I think.
Mate, if you made a fight page, I'd share it. I'm sure you get a few people liking it.
Yeah, hopefully I can get over 50 likes.
Oh, I think you'd be all right there. And, mate, is there anyone you wish to thank or give a shout out to?
It's everyone that's supported me from the start. Everyone at High Impact. Anthony Wharton, he gave me my start when I was that little troubled kid getting in trouble and just a fat little no hope. So thank him for everything he's done. And then the boys that have helped me train, Tristan Roach, Sandon Gibbs O'Neill, and Andrew Abbott, since I went out on my own. They've been absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, just everything they do. All my family and friends and everything, like, and my girlfriend, I don't know how she puts up with me sometimes. Never at home, always working or in the gym. So yeah, that's what happens. To all the promoters and everything, they're the body of the sport that everyone loves. If they weren't doing what they do, I don't think we'd really have a sport to go by. Like, the promoters just doing everything they do is phenomenal, and just guys like yourself doing this stuff because of their love for the sport. Like, I thank you for letting me come on and talk to everybody and share a bit of my story. And yeah, it's just awesome what you're doing.
Well, mate, I want to thank you for letting me have a chat. I find this way more fun than my day job. I absolutely hate my day job. I just do it for the cash. But yeah, Muay Thai, I just love talking to people and watching it and training myself. So, mate, thank you very much for this good chat. It's been pretty fun, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, mate. And good luck with your rematch with Jake. And mate, just keep doing what you're doing, brother, because it's working. And if I'm one person and I notice it, surely other people are going to notice what you're doing too, mate.
Yeah, thank you. I can't thank you enough for letting me come on and talk to you for a bit. It's fun just chatting about everything, and I hope in a year's time or so we can come back on and talk about some more stuff.
Mate, we can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. I made a rule that if I interviewed someone, then I wouldn't interview them again for at least 6 months, because I don't want to look like I'm playing favourites of people. But like, sometimes I just would love to just interview everyone again, but I've got to try and broaden my horizon. But yeah, man, definitely down the future we'll definitely have another chat. 100%, you can believe that.
Yeah, keen on that, 100%.
All right, brother. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you.
Thanks, mate.